Nobody indeed. What is up? Welcome into Driving the Line. My name is Alan Bell. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you today. Got to talk some more college baseball. It's going every single day. We got college basketball as well. The NBA comes back tomorrow, I believe, but got a lot we got to get to. Now, as always, before we look forward, we have to look back. And bam, what a day it was yesterday. Now, Nebraska, come on, boys. You had it too. Lose 3-1 to Grand Canyon. Now, they're a solid squad, man, but everything else, bam, got them. TCU looked good, handled their business late. All right, against a good San Diego team. Arkansas and Oregon State, we could have bumped this up to minus 10.5 for both of these teams. We get them at plus money. Duke basketball team total over 73.5. Get coasted to that. Coastal Carolina could have taken them minus 10 runs. And then Duke, Virginia, both teams score 57 plus points, plus 110. And then Arizona in basketball, plus 1.5. A solid day there. Then our man, Brad Betts. All right. Randers and Copenhagen long cut. Both teams to score minus 135. Got him on that one. So big job by our man, Brad. Well done, buddy. Now, the Discord. Join it. If you have not joined the Discord, it is time to do it now. It is free. Ask anyone in the chat in regards to joining that. It's a ton of fun. It's a chat room. If you use Slack at work, it's just like that. And we've got it all organized. Drop your own picks in there, discussions, live betting, you name it. It's a ton of fun. What also is a ton of fun is getting to the picks. And that's exactly what we need to do. Let's not waste any time. And look at the big dog right there, Big Johnny B. What's good, brother?
I'm good, man. You know, early season technical problems are getting to me, but we're good right now.
Hey, you know what? You're busting through it, man. And that's why I'm proud of you. That's why you are our cleanup hitter, boy. All right, now we're going to get to our picks, and then we're going to talk a little college baseball of what we've seen so far after the first weekend, right? Which was nuts, man. Like, I'll tell you this. Friday, I went in. Opening day, I was fired up. Friday night, I went to bed 1-6, and I was like, oh, this ain't good. It was tough, man, for sure. But everything evened out afterwards on that. Now, we'll get to our picks here. B, you got two plays here, college baseball. Let them rip. What you got?
Yeah, so I mean, Tuesdays, midweek games, we usually get a lot of midweek underdogs at home winning, and then a lot of heavy favorite parlays are a good way to look at these midweeks. So I'm going to go with FAU plus 140 against Miami at home. They played, I believe it was 4 times last year, and FAU won both home games. FAU's, you know, they're not the best team in the world. They're solid. They're still rebuilding a bit. But it's not like Miami's one of the top ACC teams right now. They're still rebuilding a bit after their legendary coach retired 2 years ago. So I think this is a good look at plus 140. And then we're going to go with the homer pick, Tulane on the money line. It's gone up a little bit. I believe it's minus 180 now. But this is the Pelican Cup against New Orleans. They always play 3 times a year, and whoever wins 2 of those 3 games wins the Pelican Cup. Tulane won the Pelican Cup last year. They won 2 of the 3 games, and these are usually close games, usually low scoring, but I think Tulane's the better team this year. They've taken massive strides in the past couple of years. I think they pull it out at home.
So, all right, number one, the Pelican Cup. Like, I'm always in on the Pelican Cup, and I'm always in on Tulane. Also, some of the best baseball unis I've ever seen. The Green Waves are solid, bro. They're solid.
Yeah. I already ordered the Mardi Gras uni. That's already in the mail. I think that might be the freshest jersey I've ever seen in my life.
It's badass, dude. It really is, dude. It's sweet, man. I absolutely love it. All right, solid picks there. All right, I'm going to pull mine up here. All right, you guys know the deal, right? The first month of college baseball, you got to get a little wild. And you never like put together a 2-leg parlay, all right, to get minus 115. But in the streets, you got to do what you got to do. And DraftKings, I noticed you didn't give us totals or anything like that. No run lines either. I noticed that. We're back to money lines, making it tough on a Tuesday here. But we're going to go Arizona here and pair them with UC Santa Barbara. Both of those money lines at minus 115. And then we're also going to go North Carolina on the money line paired with UC Irvine at plus 105. Bowman, I have been thoroughly impressed with both Santa Barbara and Irvine so far. I mean, two solid teams generally every year. Like, it's not like this is a surprise, but man, they look good this weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, and UC Irvine was playing without their best player and possible Golden Spikes winner too. So he was out all weekend. I'm not sure if he's going to be in the lineup today, but they were still putting up runs. Their only loss was against Vanderbilt, and they still only lost by 1 and almost came back in that game. So I'm with you there. I love UC Irvine. The only thing that worries me is, for whatever reason, I mean, they were great last year, and I'm on them again today, but for whatever reason, they lost to USC both times they played them, 12-5 last year, both home and on the road. So that worries me, but they're the better team. I think they should win. They're playing way better right now. I think, if anything, that should be used as like a revenge aspect.
Hope so, because you're right. And, I was looking at it, I was like, my God, it can't happen again. Like, USC is just not good. But then again, man, you get some of these West Coast teams that know each other. And sometimes just the front of the jersey where you're like, oh, that's SC. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see, though. I'm with you on the revenge factor. And then college basketball, we're going to go with Purdue plus 3.5. Tough one on the road there against Michigan State tonight. Going to be a great basketball game. And all due respect to Michigan State, but I do think that Purdue's the better team. And if you're going to give me some points, I know it is on the road, but I'll take Purdue plus the 3.5. So those are our picks right there. Bowman, now, got the picks up. I want to get into a couple baseball headlines here, all right? Just some fun, simple talk about college baseball, but I want to start with Major League Baseball, all right? Your thoughts here, and I'll go ahead and hit it. It is time for the headlines. That makes me feel like it's 1937 all over again. All right. Our boy Mike Trout announces that he's moving to right field this season. Any thoughts on that? Because I think we're all kind of the same thing of like, I would just like to see a full season of Mike Trout, right? So your thoughts on him moving to right field?
Yeah, I mean, whatever he needs to do to stay healthy, maybe they can just move him to DH at some point and keep him in the lineup. That might be the move, but yeah, I mean, whatever he can do to stay healthy. I don't think playing right field versus center field changes too much. Obviously there's a difference in having to move to both your right and left a majority of the time, taking reads, getting more plays. But right field, I mean, you've still got a bit of the wear and tear on your body. So like I said, hopefully they just, maybe he plays 50% of the time at right field and the other 50% at DH, but whatever he needs to keep his body right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, right? It might be something to where we see him on, a quote unquote pitch count, this year, right? Which is fine. I think any baseball fan, whether you like the Angels or not, right? Like anybody wants to see Mike Trout more than 40 games. You know what I mean? So hopefully it will work out there. Liddy in the chat says, good morning, crew. Laying low in the chat, under the weather. Hey, Liddy, hope you feel better, buddy. Hope you feel better indeed. Jared says, smart move for Mike Trout. Absolutely. Now, another smart move, Bowman. How can everybody find you? Where do we go to find all of your work this season?
Yeah, it's at John Bowman 11 on Twitter. That's where I'm the most active, and that's where I post just about everything, I should say. And then on Instagram, it's at Baseball with Bowman. So you can find all my content in both those spots.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Everybody make sure to follow Bowman. Literally the best in the business and a good dude, too. Now, speaking of some good dudes, all right, Bowman, I just want to get your thoughts on what you saw over the opening weekend. And with that, let me show. So we've got a brand new top 25 right here, right? So you see the top 15 in terms of teams here, A&M, Virginia, LSU, Tennessee, go on down the list. And then rounding it out there, 16 through 25. Look at Cincinnati coming in. A great opening weekend there. So, yeah, I mean, just surface level thoughts, man, like what you saw over the weekend, anything that, caught your eye team-wise, betting-wise, any of it, man. What'd you see first weekend of college baseball?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there were a couple teams that definitely won the weekend, and a couple teams that didn't. I think Clemson looked great. I mean, obviously they got the roof blown off them against Ole Miss, but I still think they looked really good, especially those first two starters. And they've got a lineup that can hit. What else? I think Cincy, really impressed against Duke, winning 2 of the 3 games, and they probably could have won that third game too. And then another team that really impressed me is TCU with a 4-game road sweep over San Diego, who was a regional team last year and won 40 games. San Diego didn't look too great, but I mean, we've got to give a little bit of credit to TCU too for making them not look too great. That's a really good program out there. And then a team that kind of, didn't impress was Duke. Duke lost 2 of 3 to Cincy at home. Cincy's a solid team. They should win at least 1, maybe 2 of those games, but Duke losing that home series to start the season is pretty tough.
Yeah, it's brutal. And you could ask everyone in the chat right here. Like, we were on Duke all week, and it was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Sunday it got here against Cincinnati, and it was like, all right, both of these teams have got to be out of arms, right? Like, just bet the overs. Of course, that was the day that I didn't bet it, and it was like 16-9 or something like that. But yeah, I'm with you on Duke, man. We talked about UC Santa Barbara. Dude, spot on about TCU, right? San Diego's a good baseball team, man. And then finishing it Monday, with that comeback 7-6 win. Absolutely. Schwan, I hope that you're doing that. The Pete Gillen, certainly Duke is Duke. All right, if that is about that quote right there, it's one of my favorite of all time. Yeah, solid. Look, Oklahoma State, man, they put up some runs. It was fun to watch them. Troy, they've got a big one against Auburn today. And quite frankly, Auburn, look out, man. Troy's a good baseball team for sure. Taking a look at the top 15. Okay. Virginia starts the season off, lost to Michigan. And we've been talking about Michigan really all weekend. That's a solid baseball team. They're consistent. They're good. They're well coached. And they're kind of one of those teams that they're not going to lose games that they shouldn't, right? But they can take out some bigger teams, right? They're like the anti-Stanford. You know what I mean? Even though we got to give credit to Stanford, they've started off well. I give them credit on that one for sure. Duke is on the list already. They're on the banned list, flirting with it. North Carolina looked good. Oregon State, I thought, looked like a wagon. Again, we have to take, into consideration teams that they are playing. We could say Tennessee looked great. Hofstra's one of the worst baseball teams I've ever seen. You know what I mean? So we don't put a ton of credit. Arkansas had some battles there against Washington State. Thought that they looked good. And then Vanderbilt, we'll see, man. Georgia's raking. Florida State's raking. Florida could be a monster, bro. Could be an absolute monster. I'm excited to see that. Now, you look at runs scored real quick. And again, it's only the first weekend, but Wake Forest putting up runs. Indiana State putting up runs there. Not bad from those guys. And then you see runs allowed. Florida State, solid. All right. UCLA, LSU, Tennessee, again, take into consideration. But Oregon State looking solid on that one there. So a lot of good baseball, man. It's been a ton of fun already. And I'm fired up for more of it. Now, looking at the board that we have for today. All right. And if anybody has just jumped in, John Bowman is our guest today, and you can see the picks right there on the bottom of the screen. We'll be going through the entire time. Now we got college basketball, college baseball today. All right. So you look at Texas A&M, Mississippi State basketball tonight. Big one there, 7 p.m. Eastern. Mississippi State a 2.5-point favorite. And then 7 p.m. Eastern as well. We've got Purdue and Michigan State. Michigan State a 3.5-point favorite. And Bowman, I was trying to get some of the biggest games college baseball that we had. It's kind of odd. There are some upsets that could happen today. 7 p.m. Eastern, we got Mississippi State and Southern Miss. Look out. Southern Miss always has a solid baseball squad. And then we've got Houston and Texas. All right, at minus 250, Texas the favorite. But again, credit to Texas. They look solid. over the opening weekend. But Houston's never bad as well. So I say all that to say this. Bowman, we play a game here. All right. We've got the list. Now, these are picks or looks that I haven't quite pulled the trigger on just yet, but I kind of like them. All right. So, your thoughts on any of them. And then we have a show at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's very similar to EE and 5. It's very similar to that one. Let me just go ahead and say that. But LSU in basketball -2.5 going up against South Carolina. South Carolina is winless in the SEC. LSU, not great, but I think they can handle their business there. So -2.5 is a look. Kansas basketball +3.5. And then the pieces here, and these are parlay pieces. So it's always tough, like finding, dance partners here. Mississippi State money line in basketball -135 could be a play. Vanderbilt, all right, at home. Here in Nashville against Air Force. Again, it's -350. That's why it's a parlay piece. And then Texas money line -250. Any thoughts that you have on Vandy, Texas, or any other looks? And I'm not asking you to make like extra picks or anything, but like just the board, like any games that interested you today in college baseball.
Yeah, I like Vandy. I think I'm going to be on them as well in a parlay. The only thing with them is they're playing their 5th game in a row. They played that tournament over the weekend, and they had a Monday game, and now they have a Tuesday game. So most teams, it's tough to field that pitching. Vanderbilt is one of those teams that has the pitching depth to be able to do that. And then Texas, I love. I mean, Houston barely beat a Minnesota team that's really not good at all. Their bats, Texas bats, are absolutely on fire right now. And they have one of the best lineups in the nation. It's really their pitching that's the question mark, but that shouldn't matter too much against Houston. I think the 2 games of the night, like you mentioned, were the Troy-Auburn game. Troy's ranked. Auburn could be a sleeper, one of the better teams in the SEC, although they were the worst team in the SEC last year. And then that Southern Miss Mississippi State game, obviously a rivalry game this early in the season. I believe it's at Southern Miss. Usually they haven't been playing at Southern Miss in that series. Usually they go to the minor league park when it's supposed to be at Southern Miss, and then they go to Duty Field when it's at Mississippi State. So that might have changed this year. I think Southern Miss said last year that they're not going to play, their home game at the neutral field anymore. So that game is always good. Those 2 teams absolutely hate each other.
Yeah, they do. And what disrespect as well. It's like, oh, we don't get to play at our home field. It's not good enough for you. Mississippi State. Another one that caught my eye was Georgia on the road against Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State is not a bad baseball program at all. They understand exactly who they are, and they say, all right, there is a million talented players in the state of Georgia, and we don't have to get the, blue chip top guys because 10 through 20 can rake as well. Kennesaw State's not a bad program in Georgia after having a good weekend. That could be one. Florida, I believe they're on the road against Jacksonville today. Again, I don't want to bet against Florida. Like, yeah, somebody in the chat said we'd banned them last year. Florida was as inconsistent as it got last year in the regular season. They got hot, but this Florida team's different, man. They can rake, they can pitch. They're pretty good, but just keep an eye on that one, man. That could be a weird one for sure. Some questions here. Let's see. Oh, Seth says, taking his boy. He's a Mississippi State guy versus Southern Miss tonight. Yeah, absolutely, man. Should be a good one. Mills asks, do you think we'll get totals today in college baseball? I'll bet the Tulane game over. Yeah, we will. They generally will put them up. And look, I was making a joke at DraftKings. Like, it's difficult, dude. It's hard, especially on Tuesdays for sure. But yeah, you'll get them. It might be pretty close to opening pitch on these games, but you'll definitely get them. All right, Tony asks, am I going to the Vandy game tonight against Air Force? Let me tell you this. It is cold in Nashville. It's like 32 degrees, which is, oh, yeah. Like, I know Bowman's like, yeah, oh, yeah. Like, that's freezing to us, right? So I thought, John, that you made a great point that it's Vandy's, what'd you say, 5th game in a row, correct?
Yeah.
So,
and yeah, I think they were on the road in that tournament as well. So traveled back and played immediately on Monday. So, I mean, tough travel, tough games for them, but they should take care of business still.
They should. And I thought that like, kind of the overall point of that, like we saw that game against Air Force last night. It was It was Vandy 1-0 for like 6 innings. I think that you could probably get something similar. I don't know what that total is going to be. Pay attention to that. The books might make it really low. So you could go the other way. However, I'm just telling you, it's cold in Nashville. And Vandy, like Bowman said, has played 5 games in a row. So just keep an eye. Yeah, I think that was what? Is it 2 p.m.? Yeah, I think 2 p.m. Central, something like that. Yeah, 100%, man. So just pay attention to it. Melanie says, don't get me started. She's in Iowa. It's minus 12 over there. So, yeah, that's a little colder than 32 for sure. All right, Bowman, we're going to get out of here, but we got a stat that we're going to give, okay? Because I know you're a big stat man. Actually, first off, let's put the picks up real quick, and we'll go through those for anybody that has jumped in late, even though you see them at the bottom. College baseball, I'm on Arizona money line, paired with UC Santa Barbara money line, minus 115. Also on North Carolina money line baseball, paired with UC Irvine money line at plus 105. And then in college basketball, Purdue plus 3.5, minus 110. Bowman is on Florida Atlantic money line plus 140 and Tulane money line minus 166, although it might have jumped in your books. So just pay attention there and shop around. Now, all right, Bowman, last thing that we do, all right, it's our stat of the day. And like I said, our list, we break it down in the morning, and then 3 p.m. Eastern today, we take a look as we've had kind of an afternoon to digest, see line movements, and get our final lines before we make our decisions. But a stat of the day right here. Basketball. Purdue, they've hit the first half under in 11 of their last 12 road games. And they're going up against Michigan State. Let me tell you, Michigan State has not been an over team in the first half as well. So pay attention to that one for sure. All right, Bowman, we sure do appreciate it, buddy. Any final thoughts before we get out of here? Again, let everybody know, where can we find you?
Yeah, at John Bowman 11 on Twitter and at Baseball with Bowman on Instagram. No final thoughts. I'm just excited that baseball season's starting again. Games every day. There's nothing like it. And, after football season, we need something to, and with NBA and NHL and the All-Star break right now, we need something to follow along with. So couldn't be happier.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. And I couldn't be happier just to see your beautiful mug right there, my man, looking sharp as always. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be live today at 3 p.m. Eastern to break down all of our final bets for Tuesday night. But for John Bowman and myself, thank you all so much. Let's have a great day. Let's cash these tickets, and we will see you this afternoon. Thanks. Who's got it better than us? Nobody!